2 miles for 4 of those days, and then maybe 3 miles for the 5th day. So
I was thinking 10 miles in one day. I was like, oh, God.
well, the key, though, the goal is to eventually work up where you are doing 10 miles.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when you're training for a marathon. So
Have you been in a marathon before?
I've been in a couple, yeah. Yeah, I actually ran a marathon in Antarctica back in 1997.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So it was, they only do it about every 2 years, and it was run on glaciers, and there were penguins and all kinds of...
Wow.
Yeah, it was really kind of a neat experience.
Did you get pictures?
I do have pictures, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Man.
It was probably one of the best things I ever did in my life. Now, I have no desire to go back to Antarctica.
Yeah, it is kind of cold
pretty cold
up
the
there.
whole time, but yeah, it was a heck of an experience.
Let's go back to starting a running program.
Okay.
You said that a person should walk and run maybe 14 minutes the first time.
Right.
If a person wanted to do a 5K, because we have lots of those here in
Sure.
Charlotte, how could they set up a schedule to train for the 5K?
Well, I think couple different ways. I mean, one, they could come to, you know, a store like mine, a running specialty store. Generally, the people that are working there are very knowledgeable. A lot of times, you know, like in our case, we offer running programs, beginning running programs, and so they're able to kind of jump in with someone who already has done the legwork, can lay out a program with them. You know, they're running with other people, so that's a nice, easy way to do it. The other option is there's plenty of information on the internet. I mean, if you go to Google and type in "train for a 5K," you're going to get all kinds of you know, information on and schedules on how you can get into a running program. And they've got everything from the beginner to the person who's been running for a while and is looking to get faster.
So how far in advance should you start the training schedule?
For a 5K, you could probably train for a 5K in probably, you know, 12 to 16 weeks, depending on where your level of activity is prior to starting. You know, if you're fairly healthy and you've been working out, maybe you just haven't been running, you could probably train for something in about 12 weeks.
12 weeks is about the norm?
Sure.
And in that 12-week period, how do you start out?
Generally, it's all about gradually increasing the mileage over that 12-week period. So if if you've never run before and you're just getting into it, you know, you're probably going to spend the first couple of weeks just getting up to that 14-minute mark. You know, and if you're a beginner runner, at the point that you're running 14 minutes, you're probably covering about 1.5 miles at that point. So then you're just working to build the mileage to where you can cover that whole 3 miles. And like I said, you know, depending on your level of fitness going into the program, you might, you know, it may not take you 12 weeks to get to where you're ready to run, you know, a 5K. But, you know, for someone who's never run before, 12 weeks I think is plenty of time to be able to get and build up to be able to run 3 miles. So, and the whole idea and the fun thing about it is first you get to where you can cover that distance, but then you talk about, well, how can I get faster? And that's where it gets fun. So.
I want to tell everyone, I've been in a couple of 5Ks, and my goal is to just finish. It doesn't matter if I finish the first or... I try not to be the last person. I always look back and make sure that somebody's behind me. But the key is to, no matter how many times you go, is to just finish and to just have fun because it is so much fun.
It's all about the experience, and that's the thing. You know, we all can't be Kenyans, and you know, when you look at the people that there's very few people, you know, less than 1% that actually ever win races. You know, it's really most of the people, large majority of the people are out there because, you know, they're out there with people, they have a common interest, they like staying fit. Like you said, races are fun. You know, the atmosphere, you know, the goodies after the race, you know, the medals. It's all about, you know, the finisher's medal. It's all about just being out there and having fun and being healthy. So.
Let's talk about some things that people should wear when they're running. Like, I know the different seasons here in Charlotte, we have all 4. What do you suggest for people, what they should wear during the springtime when they're running?
Yeah, the biggest thing about being comfortable when you're out running and wearing clothing is the materials do make a difference. And the first and foremost thing that I want to stress is you want to stay away from materials that hold moisture, specifically cottons. You know, the days of wearing an old cotton t-shirt when you're out running have really passed, because what cotton does is it holds moisture, and it's not a very good it doesn't transfer heat or keep you cool very well. So if you're running in a cotton T-shirt in the say the summer or the spring, when our temperatures are still can get pretty hot, 80, 85 degrees, and even in the summer it gets really hot. You're sweating. You're gonna hold all that moisture, which leaves you a lot more susceptible to chafing. And chafing is where you get the moisture and your arms are rubbing and you get the red marks. But then you're also holding in heat because you're not able to expel that heat. So today, a lot of the materials you hear the buzzwords like Nike Dry Fit is a material, Cool Max, all the different companies, Nike, Adidas, Brooks, all these different.
They all
companies,
got something.
They all have their own proprietary, and a lot of them use Cool Max. That's kind of like the real commonly seen one. All those materials basically do the same thing, and what they do is they transfer moisture. So they take the moisture off you. They allow it to evaporate really quickly, so that you're staying a little bit drier. But then they also allow you to breathe better and get the heat away from you. Same thing in the wintertime. Those materials kind of again, they get the moisture off you, so you're not staying cold and wet. And then the best thing in the wintertime is to layer up so that you're trapping air between the materials, and that'll keep you warmer. You don't want to go out and just wear a big sweatshirt when you run, because you're just going to be running around in a big wet sponge, and it's going to keep you cold. Same thing with the shorts. A lot of the shorts these days will have like a Dry Fit or a Cool Max liner, again, to pull the moisture off you, and then they're nylon, so they're nice and light. Same thing with the socks. You want to stay away from cotton socks. You're going to be a lot more susceptible to blisters with cotton, because again, it's going to hold moisture in. And if you're running with a wet material against your foot, that's holding in heat and wet, it's going to cause you to chafe, and you're going to get those blisters. So, a lot of the socks today are Cool Max socks, so they're going to pull the moisture away. So.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
So tell me, when a person is running a 5K or just running for fun, when should they drink the water, or how much should they drink before they run?
Well, I would say most of us don't drink enough water, just walking around in our daily activities. So especially if you're running every day, it's important to stay hydrated, especially in the spring and the summer. If you're going out to run, obviously it's not comfortable to go out with a full belly of water. You're going to feel like you're on the Titanic probably.
You might have to make a stop too. You may not be able to.
Yeah, but you just want to, I always tell people just to drink throughout the day, maybe stop drinking, maybe, 30, 40 minutes before you go out and work out. And that way you're not going to have that extra fluid in your stomach, but you're going to be hydrated. If you're going, if it's a hot day, you might want to take a water bottle along with you and just take sips of it, just to make sure that you're staying hydrated.
So it is okay to drink while you're running?
Sure, it's very okay to drink while you're running. You just don't want to drink a whole lot. If you're just taking sips along the way, you'll be fine. So.
You may or may not be able to answer this. Which is best, water or the Gatorade?
They're both great.
Or the power drinks?
Both great. The thing, you're trying to do two different things. With water, your body needs water. What Gatorade does is it provides you with the electrolytes, the minerals that your body needs to be able to process that water. So a lot of times it's good to kind of do both. You're going to need more water than really Gatorade or any of the nutritional drinks. And a lot of times I think products like Gatorade are almost have too much of the salts and the minerals in them. So sometimes it's good to just water those down a little bit. And what I would suggest, if you're looking to take something out on your run, maybe just take a watered down solution of that out on your run.